Hi, it's David here with Future Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to view the information here and hitting that like button. Thank you guys for doing that and supporting the information. I got a lot of content here for you. This is the universal threshold, so how far the live bar will pull back before it resumes. I'm going to definitely show you what this looked like in real time, the universal price action trend. You just need to be able to count to 10 in order to get this to work. And then the price action method, I use the majority principle to know where the stop need to be, and then the universal chart scale. So I teach you how to read that hard right edge and know where the market can become cyclical. All right. So you don't have to look left. The market is going to turn right in front of you and you will not miss it. If you are in need of additional education, I do provide that as well. And this is what it looks like. All right, it's really simple. In each lesson, I took and lost $1,000 and went back and, well, one of them I lost more than 1,000. Went back and got the goal met using just a prop account with the restrictions in place. So the $2,500, I used that and was able to meet the goal in all of the videos. And then one of them, I lost the goal 3 times and went back and got it just using repeatable information and one contract. That's really important. Now, I did do a video today, 4 hours ago. All right. And I want you to take a look at this chart, primarily this area right here. We're going to go to it on the chart, and I'm gonna show it to you, and then we're gonna get into that real time. We're gonna look at that daily and see what they've been doing since this video here. All right, because we had some targets. All right, we had some targets. We've been kind of tracking this for some days here. Let's go here. We've been tracking the daily for, well, now it's been 11 days, but just a little bit ago, we went over the real time. That's why you're seeing this. But we went and looked at the daily. But right here in my private community, I released something to help you hold trades longer, help you hold trades longer. And we're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at that information. But before doing so, this is 2 easy ways to do it. But before doing so, this is the daily. And so this is the last video that I had shot. Okay, so this is that daily. Let's go back here. All right, so let's go here. Let's go back to home. And that's that video here. All right, so I forgot to put the date on that, but that's that video. You can see it's a day ago. So today we're here just a couple days out. All right. So this was back on the second. All right. I had shot this video here, and price was actually here. This was the day Trump supposed to had did the tariffs. All right. Now price was here. It was a green bar, and of course the first video, which was this one here, that's from 11 days ago. I'll go back here. From 11 days ago, all right, I told everyone here publicly, and again, we've been tracking this in the private community ever since they were like up here, and we knew that they was going to come this far. But in that video, price in the video from 11 days ago, price was here, and I told everyone it could go up just a bit more, but it should turn back around and fall because we got some targets here. And then, of course, the video from the second Trump supposed to have been doing his tariffs, and I'll show you just a little bit of something else in just a moment. But this is where price was. It was a green bar. Okay, it was a green bar, and then of course it had went up, and that's that threshold. So if you go back to the prior video there, if you go back to that video, you'll see that that threshold was in there, and they managed to move up. And there's a way to trade these thresholds too, but I tell you that in the private lessons. But I am going to give you what you would need to know in order to get it to work out the box. Well, needless to say, they managed to come on down. And again, we're expecting them. This is where the targets will start at 17,493. Okay, 17,493. But they should definitely get here. There's another one down at 10,9. Now, I'm not going to come back and give you guys another alert until we can get closer to this one. So let's go 16,584. You know what? I'm going to come back when they get here. Let's do that. So I'm going to come back when they get here and tell you what I think should happen when it comes to this one. I don't know if they'll want to go that far, but I suspect that there's a good chance that they will. Again, I told you guys, I don't think they're going through this high at all. This is different. It's not business as usual. When it came to the Trump information there that day. Now, this goes back to, let me go back here. We're going to look at this chart. All right, we're going to look at this chart, but look at this title: 2 easy ways to hold trades longer. All right. Now, when I show you this, this is primarily for that purpose. All right. So this is from that morning. I was down roughly about 2,000. All right. I went backwards like two, and then I was recovering with one contract. All right. Just one contract, and you can see the date. That's on the second, and that's that time in the morning. The Trump news, I wasn't able to snap the picture because it actually took the long, and I was on the bottom of here, and I took that long up, and there's the account. You can see it's, and here's the date. All right, and I ended up with 12.7. All right, so I am trading exactly what it is that I'm suggesting that you can hold your trades. You just need to know how to do it. And again, that's why I'm releasing more information. I went over quite a bit in this list. So if you're wanting to be a part of this experience, you're more than welcome. And again, I traded live and very conservative, may I add, with this information here. All right. And so today's video, we're going to take a look at the two easy ways how to hold trades, how to hold trades. All right. So now take a look at this chart, and we're going to pull into frame of that information, but I'm not going to come back until we can get to here. All right, so I'm not going to come back until we can get to there. This is what that chart is. Now, I had to restart my platform. I don't know, it had kind of froze on me at a moment. And so I'm missing like a bar, like a red bar that was right here. It was like a red bar. But you go back to your chart, and those in the private community, you'll definitely know that it's just like a red bar here, and it was coming down. All right, and so I'm kind of missing that bar. Everything else is pretty much exactly the same. I don't know, for some reason when it froze, it did that, and I've been trying to get it to come back on. I cut it off, cut it back on, but needless to say, the rest of it is what it's supposed to be. And go back to your charts, and you'll absolutely see it for yourself. All right, so I started the video here. So the price was on this bar here. All right, and I ended the video here. It's not a long video, 20 something minutes. Just try to explain to them uh, how to, use some simple things to know that price will keep right on going. It will keep right on going. All right. Now, this is the free information. So we got our trend. Let me make sure I tell you that we need 7 bars closing lower than the prior. Okay. So your seventh one was here. You have to ignore all these in between. Then from high to low, you project that distance, and then you take it here and put it here. Because whenever you have a thought, you have the end in mind. Okay. So the trend, you don't need any other indicators, you don't need nothing else. The market is based on thought, action, habit, character, because this is a decision place. So everything that you choose to do, you're choosing it because it's on your mind to do so. And so whenever you have a thought, you have the end in mind. And so once the trend shows up, if there's participants wanting this to trend down, they have an end in their mind as well. And so it shows up on the chart. And the same goes to say with the bullish activity. Now we put that zone in that video. Let me go back here. All right. Let me make sure that you see this. That zone, okay, is right here. All right. We put that zone in that video. Now this is where we started the video, and I put that zone up there. Okay. Now keep in mind, there's a low back here. All right. From that trend up. And we were here. And I put that zone there, and it was a trend. It was a trend here. It was. And I told them that there's a chance, because we had a downtrend, that they will move back down through this bottom. All right. And that's in the private community. And I told them what to use and how to go about it, how to count your way into it. All you have to do is know some numbers. We talk about numbers. Okay. And we know how to use those numbers very effectively. All right. And they know there's an indicator in the indicator list that they can use that, we tell them where. Okay, so it's something that they can use, and they know the numbers that they need to utilize. And in order to know it, just keep right on going, and how to stay in it. Okay, I gave them a couple other additional things to consider as well. Well, they moved down. All right, now after they broke that low, because they broke the low, okay, they managed to pop back up. All right, so they popped back up. Now, again, you would count the 7 bars closing higher. You would count those 7 bars closing higher. And then, of course, here, they didn't want to make the distance. They ran back up there to the center of this downtrend, as they did here. When they made the downtrend, they ran to the center of it and turned around. They tried to sit at the center here, but then they failed through it. And then of course here, let me put this in place because I forgot to add this. I'll do this real quick. And then we're going to our real time and we're going to take a look at it. I want to give you guys some free information here on the channel that's very, very useful. Okay, so you don't have to be a part of the private community. That's not necessary. Again, all the free information will work just fine. I want to tell you that. And that's why I'm going to show you this. And we're going to do it in real time as well. All right, so then they turned around and they made a trend down and they made that distance as well. All right, so, and of course, they pulled to the center of this trend, went back up to the center of that trend, and they began to move down. This is not a trend. Okay, that's them just turning back over. And I went into that video to tell them how to know it should keep going and how to stay in it, even though it's cyclical, how to stay in it. All right, so really important stuff. Did we get to that price from the daily? Let's see. A low 548. Let me see, 548 and a quarter. Let me get our daily chart. Let's see if we actually made that first target yet. Let's see if we made it. Where is our daily? We're gonna pull our daily up. No. So we're still needing to get lower. Okay, so we're trying to go 17 493. So we need to go 17 493. We're not there yet. Let me just slide this out the way. We're not there yet. So we got a little more work to do. All right, just a little bit. And as you can tell, they've been making these really big, broad swings to the upside. Okay. Meanwhile, the 930 was right here, and that's that trend. All right. The universal information that's applicable to all, cases. So it's applicable to stocks, futures, forex, options, whatever you're trading. It's applicable. Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. All right. And we're going with the center of the trend because remember, this is a decision place. All right. It's a decision place. And they've been doing these massive trends up and then turning it back around and trending back down. So several opportunities to catch trends here. All right. So you can hold trades for the trend distance. You can. But in the likelihood that you can, I'm going to show you what else you can do. Let's first outline this. If the mid of the bar is falling beneath the prior bar, this is the universal concept. This bar will turn red if the next 30 something seconds, should we continue down, the mid is that blue line is falling beneath this bar's low. This bar will turn red. All right. This bar will turn red. All right. I want you to see it. This bar will turn red. All right. Now I have indicators for, this, and that's the bar color. All right. Now I have levels, text, I have it all. Now it would have needed to stay below there until the bar ticked out. That's not happening. We're at the center of the chart. Let me point this out too. We're at the center of the chart. Now let's do our chart scale because if it's going to be cyclical, it's going to happen right in front of you. And this is the upper part of the scale here. Try to teach you all of this really quickly, just a few minutes. I won't be before you long. And this is the lower part of the scale here. All right. So they're right at the center of the scale, doing this. Are we destined to fall again? I told you there is another price down there, but can we go up today and just remain up until maybe next week? Sure. So this bottom can potentially hold. All right. Now, if the market is going to pull back into the bar, that's the universal threshold. Those two black lines on this candle. All right. Price should pull right into that area there. Let me just kind of change the color of this so it's not blending in with the chart scale. Let's get us a black. All right. Because there's two black lines on the bar. That's the universal threshold. It's already 70, 80 ticks off its low. All right, so it's almost 100 ticks off its low. That's not bad. We would like to see them go higher from this threshold if it's going to stay up. So let's see if that's going to happen, and hopefully the universal pattern will show up. If the universal pattern shows up, the bar will turn green or red. All right, and again, it's a 2-bar effect, but you can do it in real time. The only caveat is any subsequent bars can come into this zone too. I want to have you know that this is the universal threshold. As long as they don't break the back of this bar, it can turn around and go higher. All right, it can turn around and go higher. So we're looking for the distance of the no touch pattern should it show up. All right, so when this bar turned green, it's because the mid of this bar exceeded that bar's high. We would take that distance and we would project it. So if you can't stay in it for the trend distance, and again, I'm gonna put that trend there in just a second. I'm trying to make sure I capture this real time so you can learn how to read it in real time. They made this distance. They made it. All right. Now, when you come to the second green bar here, which is this one, is because the same thing had happened. They're going a bit too far because we need them not to break the back of the bar clearly, and just begin to go back in that direction. Now, as long as they don't break the back of the bar, it can still work. Now again, I teach you what is important about this area. In the private community, teach you what you should be looking for. All right, so what we do is we take these two bars because it made that distance. So let's take these two bars and project this as well. So now let's get this distance here, and that's saying that they should get here, and they got fairly close. They did get fairly close. So if we're destined to hit this, hopefully it's now. Okay, hopefully it's now, and they should get there. All right, now that's the universal chart scale. All right, so let me go get our information here. I want to make sure that this is in frame because I want you to know what you're encountering here on the channel with me. All right, I want you to know. Want you to know. All right, so let's put that there so you'll always know what this is all about. Me coming up here. All right, don't want you to be concerned about what's happening here. I want to give you some information that's robust enough that with free content, you can begin to get your trading to work. All right, so there's no reason to elect to be a part of anything else or anyone else's community for that matter, whether it's Discord for $50 or $30 subscriptions for alerts or whatever. You don't need it. Okay, you don't need it. I want to teach you how to do it on your own, so that way you don't need it. And should you want to pursue anything, do it out of you just wanting to and not necessity. All right, so you shouldn't need and be codependent. I want to make sure that you're independent and that you can help your loved ones, the people that you care about, without having to subscribe to things that just doesn't make sense. All right, so let's make sense together. All right, so they should get here. All right, and that's the threshold. So any subsequent bars can pull into this area. Now we got another situation going on here. The pressure came on, and again, those indicators are provided if you want it. All right, now this is suggesting that they can get here, which is the upper part of the scale. Now this was the center part of the scale. This is the upper part of the scale, and the projected distance is saying that they can get here. The pressure is coming on, indicating that they're trying to turn this bar green as well. All right. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Again, I want to make sure that you can read real time. So far, we went over three components. All right, we went over three components. We went over the chart scale. We went over the threshold. We went over the no touch, and make sure I'm not leaving anything out. Threshold, chart scale. Oh, we did it all. We did it all. Okay. I thought I just did three of them. Well, we did it all. So we did the chart, the threshold. Okay. We did threshold. We did the no touch, no close pattern. It's saying that they can do it again. All right. So let's just see what this is. Okay. That's roughly the same, give or take. So we went over the threshold, the no touch pattern, the chart scale, the trend. So let me put the trend in here. All right. So let me put the trend I did that over here, but I want to do it right here where they're at. All right. So let's go over this too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got to ignore anything else and you got to come over here, and that's 7. Okay. So now we got our trend. All right. Not going to be before you long. It's not about holding the video. All right. Don't want to hold the video. Don't want to hold your attention too long. Just want to give you some information that you can pull up any chart, and begin to get your trading to work for free. All right, for free. It costs me a lot, but I want to make sure I give it away. I want to give some information away. Do something that's not on YouTube. All right, it's not on YouTube. It's not. You go take a look, and I can assure you, there's a lot of hindsight traders that's wanting to tell you a bunch of stuff that's look left, and just that's not going to work with this. All right, I just want to tell you that it doesn't. You can go look left if you want, and I can assure you, whatever's in hindsight, if you can't make sense of it in real time, you're going to have a very hard time getting trading to work because what's on the left was on the right. Okay, so if you're only able to comprehend what's on the left side of the chart, you're not going to make sense of what's on the right because it's the real time that makes it challenging. It's the real time because it changes what it does. It's fluid, so it can change what it does at any given moment. All right, so want to teach you how to do that. All right, so they pulled into our threshold. Keep in mind what I'm going over, right, and just keep applying it while I'm drawing these lines. All right, and that's suggesting yes. So they made the trend distance. All right, now they can possibly become cyclical here, so they can probably start, just showing a little bit of weakness, if you will. They don't have to. It can keep running, should it want to. All right, but let's get our threshold and kind of move this up here. All right, so if they want to pull down into this candle and take off again, it would look something to this effect. All right, so it would look like that. Will the pressure come on? The pressure is on the blue line, and again, these indicators come with the indicator suite. All right, so you can get the top right, bottom right, left right. All of it. You can put it in the center, and you can make them big as you want. All of that comes with the suite. And there's well over 200 indicators in the indicator list. This is right about 300 of them. So you're paying less than $1 per indicator. All right, and all of what you're seeing is included. So the bar coloring, the black lines, the pressure, the blue line is floating with it. All of this comes with it. Templates, sound files. I've been trading professionally for a very long time. I just have you know that, and I managed to figure out how to code indicators too on the way. And so I just want to give away a lot of information. I just want to give away stuff, give away. Of course, there's a little bit of effort that's needing to be made on your part because I had to spend time more so than anything. So it's just a little effort, just a little bit of effort. Well, they made the distance for these two, unless I don't know. Let's see. They may break the back of this bar, and then that one just won't work. All right. If they break the back of the bar, this one is not going to work. And I told you they possibly can become cyclical because they made it to the trend distance. I don't know if you paid attention to that here. But oftentimes when they get to the trend distance or the trend, they will cycle. So yeah, see, that didn't work. All right, so this one didn't work. It's okay. You're going to get a bad one here and there. All right, so let's do this. Let's just put something here saying that it didn't work. All right, so this one didn't work. Now it's doing it to the downside. Maybe it'll work to the downside. Let's see. And again, you can go in any direction that you prefer. All right. Again, it's suggesting this is no more than ideas playing out. All right. So you have a thought on your mind. You have a thought on your mind typically, in most cases that I know of, whenever you have a thought, you have the end in mind, and then you work your way towards it. So you're kind of putting it together as you get there. And unless you're well thought out, then you try to plan it step by step in your mind before you actually execute. But you always envision what you want as an end result. Okay, so you always want something, and so you got to listen to the market when it's saying that it wants to do something. Listen to it. Listen to what it's telling you. It's a good chance that it will produce what it is that it wants. And so when the trend shows up, it can become cyclical. When the trend distance show up, it can become cyclical. It can do both. Now they got roughly almost halfway. That's not bad. They may still be. I don't know. Now, if they're trying to turn it around, let's see if the pressure will come on and see if they want to turn it around. All right. So if we can get the blue line above this bar's high, yeah, yep, there's the pressure. All right. So they reach back into this threshold here. And again, I don't want to hold you long, maybe just back through this high, and then I will let you go. All right. So that's that threshold. Matter of fact, let's use that one there. And let's use this one. This is the one we need. We need the black one. All right. So we need them to keep that mid outside of that bar's high until the candle ends. And that's in like 30 more seconds. All right. But we're just going to put this here regardless. And then when it ends, we'll put it here and see whether or not they can just go ahead and keep that midpoint, this blue line. We need that to stay outside of that bar's high for the next 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so great. So this red bar is getting ready to turn green. All right, so the red bar turned green. Now we're still above the, let's get our projected distance because it's telling us that it would want to go this way now. Now, it could very much fail, just like the one up at the top. It could. That's saying that it would get here. All right. The goal is they can't break here. They can't come back through the bottom of this bar to get that distance to work. So you're not staying in trades, beyond what's suggested. All right. So once the market suggests something to you, you are saying, at that moment, I am willing to go with you for as long as you're willing to produce what it is that you're suggesting. The moment that the market comes below this stop, you're out of the trade and you're waiting for the next opportunity. Now, clearly, they move beyond our threshold here, right? But again, this is the threshold. Any subsequent bars, yes, it can pull into this area because this is where our stop really should be. Now there's more information that I'm privy to, but these are the four components. All right, so these are the four components that I'm wanting to give to the public. That's free and it's contextual. All right, so it's not just leaving you guys with try this and it's in a vacuum. Try this or some indicator. I want to teach you how to use your chart. The thing that they give you your chart and they give you your price. All right. So they give you both of those things. Let's use them. Let's absolutely use what it is that we're being offered to have. We don't have to go anywhere else. We don't have to go on the indicator list. Now, if you do decide to get my indicators, it's $200. Again, there's tons of indicators in there, price action indicators. So you can learn from. It's like this. It's just stuff you can learn from. You would have to be able to figure it out because there's no Q&A with the indicators. That's training. I don't do that. All right. Well, I do training, but it costs significantly more than $200. All right. So the Q&A, no. All right. Now I do give you some tips with the indicators. I give you some tips on which ones to pick and try to, utilize them. Ones that I think is really just out the box. Try these and they should really give you an experience. All right. So, but constant Q&A, no, I don't do that. All right. So not for $200. So here, the information that's on the channel is worth more than $200. What I'm showing you right now is worth more than $200. All right, so let me bring your attention to the value that's happening here. All right, so now if you look at this bottom corner here, the last bar had 649 $45 in it. That's the last bar, just to show you what it is that you're kind of up against here. I wanted to provide you. This one has over 100 and well, let's say 160 ticks in it. So that's a little bit of money, roughly almost $800. Let's see when it ends. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, $800. So 805. Okay. So 805, and that's saying it should get to here. Okay, we got to do this because that bar turned red. That's saying it could get below the center of this chart. So this one didn't work either. All right. So this one didn't work. Maybe they're still working on this one. This one here. Maybe they're still working on this one. So we're going to say that this one didn't work. All right. So this one didn't work either. So that one didn't work. So maybe you got two from this side. Maybe you're going to get one from this side, and you just wasn't able to get this one to work. Now it's an uptrend, but it's wanting to kind of pull back here. So let's see. Maybe it wants to go ahead and get to this distance here, and should it get here, I believe it'll hit this one, and then of course it may turn back around, or they can turn around now. Either which one. Now it's much more likely to just take the longs. I mean, they're up. Just take the longs. See how that work out, and it should work. All right. So but this is what you're getting on the channel. You're getting a complete context of how to read the market for free. All right, this is for free. And again, the indicator is just $200 if you want them. If you want them, you don't need them. I'm telling you right now how to read your chart, So if you're using some other platform, you're more than welcome to stay with that and just keep using it. If you would like to have my suite, you can get the free version of NinjaTrader and use my indicators. All right. So you can get the charting on NinjaTrader and still place trades on the platform of your choice. All right. If you just want to have my indicators, you're more than welcome to them. But you don't need it. I want to tell you that's the whole purpose of me being up here is to present to you information to show that you don't need anything but to understand what's on the chart. All right. So we have location, which is duration. It equates to duration. Now the chart adjusts just a bit. It does. I do have a chart scale that I provide you with these levels on the chart, actually plotted on the chart too. You get that with the indicator suite. It comes with a scale, so it's plotted directly on your chart, a full size image though. So you have to run it on a full size chart like this, and you'll have these levels placed on your chart where you can automatically have them get there and know that they should respond. And we're not looking left, so I hope you've noticed that we're not concerning ourselves with anything over here. All right, nothing at all. If the market is going to turn, it's going to turn in front of us. We put this zone here and it rotated. We put this zone here and it went up. We're not concerning ourselves with anything that's off to the left. I want to see, can we get back up here? I don't want to, again, don't want to be before you long. Let's see, can we get that scenario to show up again? This may be another loss to the downside here. Let's see, can we get it to show up? Have they broken this low yet? I believe that they have. Let's see. Low 65, 75, low 58. All right, so yes, they went through that low. All right, so yeah, they went through that low. Okay. All right, so maybe they'll do it here. Okay, so this is a loss. So we got three here. All right, three that it hasn't broken it yet, but I believe it might. I'm gonna just set this here. Should it change its mind, that'll be fine. All right, so now let's project this. All right, so let's project this here because it's saying that it wants to do this. Now I'm gonna give an estimation. Again, you're supposed to take the trade when the pressure comes on. So the moment that the mid gets above the bar's high, you're just projecting when it finish where it's suggesting that it will go. Right. So the moment that the bar finish, you're going with the close. Okay. We're taking the low of the first bar wherever this bar closed. We got 13 more seconds. It's still kind of increasing here. Might have to move our projection up just a bit. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. So we're pretty much here. So now it's saying that it can get here. So you had three losses in here. Three losses. Again, you don't want them to come, through the back of your stop. The green bar is the stop. Now you had several green bars over here, and I kind of understand them slowing down. You kind of want those green bars in play above the center of the chart. If it's going to stay up, that helps. All right, just helps. Now, here's the threshold. Let's get our threshold zone here. Let me grab this one. So that's the threshold of that bar. Now, typically, and I want to say typically, they won't close under this bar. So the green bar is the stop bar, but typically you get a no close bar with the bar that created that effect. All right. So with them coming back up here, okay, now that's another loss. So they may be trying to turn it. They may actually be trying to turn back down. Maybe. All right, maybe they're actually going to head to this one. No, it was this one here. It's this one here. It's this one because this one didn't work. All right, so this is the one that didn't work, and they're giving us another shot at it. All right, so maybe they're turning. Again, I'm giving you information based on what's free. All right, just want to say that. That's the only thing I must say. I'm giving you information based on what's free. There's a lot of other things that I can tell you about price and what it's doing. Now, this is saying that it should get here. All right. Now they made this distance here. So this one here is a winner. All right. So this one here off the high, that's a winner because they haven't broke that they haven't broken this yet. All right. So that's a winner because we were going for that distance and now they made it. All right. So they didn't make this one when without breaking that stop. That's not good. Remember, you got to get out of it. But the original move here, they're absolutely making that target. Can they make this one? Okay. Can they make this one? So the ones that we actually saw it make the distance, it was I believe it was this one. Well, we came into it while this one was moving, I believe, but it was on the way to making that distance there and this one. All right. So we saw those two kind of play out. This one here and now this one here. All right. So we're trying to keep up with it for you. I'm trying to keep up with it for you. So we had four losses in here, and right now we're at 4 wins. So we're kind of, right at the break even point. All right. Now they're doing it again. They're doing it again. So maybe they're going to bring it back down and commit to that down. Maybe we're going to count our bars and then I will absolutely let you go. This may not work. They're right at the center of the chart. It's not that they can't turn back around. They can if they want to, but it's saying that it can go here. They can't break this bar though. Okay, that's the most important part. They can't break that bar. They break that bar, that's bad. Now the threshold. Let's pull our threshold down. Now, if they are going to make this distance, clearly you don't want them to break this bar. They need to turn back around and begin to head back down here. All right. Now, this will be the last one that I'll do with you because I don't want to hold this video long, but I definitely want to give you guys the information that you need. Let's let that play out just for a moment. Again, I'm going to bring you back up to speed here with the daily. If they're going to continue down, all right, we're still waiting on our 17,493. We have not gotten there yet. The low was 548 and a quarter. We're still waiting on that. And we have, definitely some more targets that we're needing to hit. My community, my private community, my private community, you guys, please, if you get a moment this weekend, two easy ways to hold trades. All right. So you want to how to hold these trades. All right. I drew that zone in there. All right, drew that zone in there. And again, there's the thumbnail. You can see it. The zone is here. Yeah, so they made that one too. All right, without breaking. A little fussy at the high. So that's another win for us. So that's five. All right. And again, the last bar had $700 in it. All right. Trying to teach you how to read this stuff for free. And don't want you to have to give up a lot of money in order to get this to work. My private community, please go back and watch the video. This is the free content that I'm going over with the channel here, so they can see that the free content work well. You would have some additional information clearly on how to just navigate all these swings, all right? How all these swings these guys are making and how to anticipate the turnarounds, how to know it is going to turn back around and where it should turn around at. You'll have all of that information in that video. I started the video here. I ended it here, and we again wiped out that uptrend. All right, and of course it went a bit lower. Now they're suggesting, all right, so they're suggesting yet again. I'm not going to hold the video, but they're suggesting that they'll do it again. Now at this point, we got to think about the trend aspect. All right, so now we got to get our trend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7. Okay, so we had no business after this here thinking about it going back up. So this is the trend back down. All right, so this is a trend back down. Just kind of put this here. Just lock it, and then I'm gonna make it red so you'll know. Let's go in here and make this red. My private community, please people, go and look at that video. It will help you. Two easy ways, two absolutely easy ways to know that you can stay in your trade. All right. And you just got to see whether or not, you know, that information makes sense to you with what it is that you want to do as far as holding trades. There are simple ways. It's not complicated. Again, you can know where and when. The where and the when it can turn around. The where and the when it can turn around. For my community here on the channel, we're going over, let's go back to our home video here, our home page. We're going over what's free and it works. Okay, so we're talking about the universal threshold, meaning applicable to all cases. Universal price action method. That's the thing that we're doing with the majority, with the principle of majority, meaning the minority has to follow. The minority has to follow. And that's important. We want to get that mid below that low or above that high. And then I'm sorry, the trend. This is the trend. We're counting 10. Well, you got to be able to count to 10. You want to count your 7 bars. Here we're using the majority principle. I need to switch these around. I've been thinking about doing that. But here's the price action method. We're using the majority principle. All right, really important because the minority has to follow. And then of course that chart scale, really important that you use that too, because they got up here to our upper part of our scale and decide that it wants to turn around. The ideal situation was to have it come to the center of the scale and begin to take back off to the upside. It didn't want to do that. It didn't want to do it. So it, of course, just sliced right through the center of the scale, and now it's down here. And it's almost about to make the distance here. So what do we have? We have another win here. So that's another win. All right. So they're suggesting it again, but I am going to go at this point, and I wish you all the best with your trading. If you guys are in need of additional information, again, that's provided as well. All right, that's provided, and this is what it looks like. I want to come up here and show you this. Now I have this information below the video. To get private access, this is what it looks like. You don't need it. I want to say that you don't need it. And again, my indicator suite, it works on the free version of NinjaTrader, so you don't have to have NinjaTrader platform in order to run my indicators. All right, and there's no machine ID required. You can run it on all of your machines in your house, or whatever you need to do at work or whatever. So the no machine ID required. I don't believe in having strings attached. So you buy it, it's yours. All right, and that's just the way I look at it. All right, so just want you to have the best. All right, people listen to me. This stuff is complicated if you don't have someone helping you. I want to tell you that I didn't have anyone to help me. I'm self-taught. All right, it took me a lot of money and a lot of years of my life to learn to look at charts very objectively. And I, of course, know that this is a decision place. That's the most important part that I really want you to take away with this, that this is a decision place. There's decisions that's being made. It's supply and demand on every price level. All right. Every price level, there's a decision that's being made. You will not succeed at this unless you view the market relative to your own choice making, the thing that you're capable of. All right. And again, we're waiting for our first target here down at 493, and we were aware of these targets. The private community, I put those targets in the private community when we were up here. I told them how far price was potentially going to decline when price was up here. And I stated when I came publicly with this information here that we were going back down. All right. That is my time with you people. I absolutely have enjoyed this few videos, you guys supporting, hitting the like button, showing your level of commitment towards the content here. I appreciate it. I really do. There's a lot of information online, and you're choosing to be here. And I want to say this to you: I am not advertising. So you're being here is fate. All right. I did not pay for any subscriptions, views, anything. I didn't pay for any of that. All right. So if you're here viewing this content, it's important. I just want to say that to you. It's important. This may be a pivotal moment for you. Take all the information in that you possibly can. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.